Alright boys, welcome back to another Maybe Lewis MMA UFC video. So today we are doing my predictions for UFC Houston Strickland versus Hernandez. Pretty good card, not gonna lie, The main card is pretty solid. Prelims, pretty good as well. So let's jump right into it, boys. First fight of the night. We got Julianna Miller versus Carly Judice. Now Carly Judice, one of the very few women MMA fighters who finishes her fights. She's coming off 2 back-to-back TKO knockout wins. Julianna Miller got a decision win her last time out. But I think Julianna Miller is very mid. Carly Judice, I think, is a good flyweight prospect. I think she could go very far in the division. So Carly Judice's first fight of the night, first lock of the night, boys. Carly Judice, I think, will finish Julianna Miller. I'll say in round 1 or 2. But, yeah, I think she'll just be able to control. Her striking's very good, and she also has great takedown defense. And I don't think Miller can stand with her. And if she tries to take her down, she's not going to be able to. So, yeah, first lock of the night, Carly Judice. By finish, boys. Now, next fight, we got another good prospect, another featherweight. Well, not another featherweight, but we got featherweight Jordan Leavitt versus Yadier Duvall. Duvall has 2 back-to-back first-round submissions, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 2 back-to-back first-round submissions. Not against good names or anything, but, he's 10-0, 4 wins by submission, 2 wins by knockout, and 5 first-round finishes. And of course, Jordan Leavitt, let me see, his last time out, he won. He fought Alibi, but he's gotten submitted a lot of times in his fights. He got submitted by Chase Hooper. He got submitted by Paddy Pimblett. So, I think that Yadier Duvall is a better striker, better grappler as well. Leavitt has some pretty good grappling, but I think Yadier's was better. So, my second fight of the night, also second lock of the night. The first 2 fights of the night, I think they're locks. I got Yadier Duvall by submission. I'm thinking round 1, but I could see it happening later. But I just think he'll be able to control Leavitt, do what he wants, really. Leavitt's pretty mid, and Yadier is a good featherweight prospect. Young, hungry. I think he'll be able to go out there and just prove his first, kind of big name. Not really big name, but most people know Jordan Leavitt. So I think going out there and dominating him would put his name on the map, Kind of like how Paddy did. Now, next fight, we got a debutant facing Phil Rowe, John Paul Lebosnoyani. I remember watching him on the Contender Series. He got a first-round knockout, I'm pretty sure. Or second round, but he has a lot of wins by submission as well. And Phil Rowe, last time out, who did Phil Rowe fight? Phil Rowe lost to Coe by decision. And, yeah, Phil Rowe, he beats, very mid fighters. But once he takes that, step up in comp, he loses. But I think Jean Paul, younger, faster. He's probably a better grappler, better striker. I just think he'll be able to control the fight with Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe getting kind of old, I think. Oh, how old is Phil Rowe? I don't know if it shows it on here. Yeah, it doesn't show it, but Phil Rowe, obviously, a veteran. He's going to go out there, try to look for a knockout probably, but I think Jean Paul will be able to control it, control the fight. I think Jean Paul will win this one by decision, win his debut versus Phil Rowe, pretty known name in the UFC and also at welterweight. So I think it'll give him some props, So Jean Paul by decision, boys. Now, we got Ramiz Brahimaj versus Punahele Soriano. Now, Brahimaj, I think last time out, submitted Vanderford. Yeah. I had Vanderford in that one. But, Brahimaj, he's always a win-lose type of guy, but he's 3-fight win streak now, putting some wins together. And Soriano last time beat Veretennikov. And he's also on a 3-fight win streak as well. So this is battle of the win streaks here, boys. But I think that Brahimaj's grappling will dominate this one. Soriano has that knockout power. He has that striking. But I think Brahimaj is grappling is way better. So I think he'll just be able to take him down and control him. Probably, I think he'll submit Soriano in round 2, probably. Yeah, that's my prediction for that one, boys. Now we got a rematch, which is kind of weird, but we got Nora Cornolle versus Joselyne Edwards. Now, Joselyne Edwards, I think, her last time out, she knocked out Priscilla Cachoeira, knocked out Chandler, submitted Vidal. So she's also another fighter who finishes her fights, women's MMA. But her last loss was to Eileen Perez, but she also fought Cornolle, 3 years ago, and lost by decision. I don't really know Cornolle like that, I'm not gonna lie, but let me just check her stats real quick, see what type of fighter she is. Edwards does have an inch in height and a 3-inch reach advantage. She's the better striker, and it seems like they're both strikers because Cornolle doesn't have much grappling stats, so it's really just, this is a striking match, I guess. I don't know, weird kind of rematch to do, but I think Edwards probably wins this time around just because she's on that 3-fight finishing streak, whereas Cornolle lost her last fight. So yeah, just based off momentum, and I think Edwards has improved a lot since her last time out against Cornolle. So I got Edwards. I don't think she'll finish Cornolle, but I got her by decision. Her striking is pretty good, and she got good power. Now, next fight on the card, boys. We got Alden Coria versus Louis Gurule. Now, I remember Coria, he fought at Noche UFC, and he fought Alessandro Costa, I think his name is. Alessandro Costa, yeah. And it was like a short notice fight, but he looked really good in that one. I'm pretty sure it was his debut. He stepped out on short notice versus a pretty good name at flyweight in Alessandro Costa. And he did really good. His striking looks really good. He has good power. He finished Costa in round 3 after a pretty good fight. And then Gurule, wait, let me see something really quick. So Coria, I just want to state that he has a 3-inch height advantage and 3-inch reach advantage as well, boys. But Gurule, last time out, who did Gurule fight? He lost to Aguilera on the same card, and he also lost to Osbourne by finish, round 2 knockout. So I think that Coria has the better striking, better grappling, better everything. Gurule, pretty mid. I think Corea's could be pretty good at flyweight. So Costa is my third lock of the night, boys. I think he'll finish at Gurule in round 2 TKO. Yeah, I just think he's a better fighter, and he's gonna be pretty good at flyweight, not gonna lie. Based off that Costa performance, he's pretty good, boys. Now, next fight on the card, boys. We got Osbourne versus Alibi Idiris. I don't know, weird name. But obviously last time Osbourne lost to Steve Erceg. He loses a lot, and Osbourne, I don't know. I feel like he's like mid, but he's good but mid. It's weird. But Idiris was on The Ultimate Fighter, and he lost to Morales. But he's a pretty good fighter. I remember seeing some clips of him. He has good grappling. And obviously has some good power for a flyweight. But I just think Idiris probably will be able to control the grappling. Unfortunately, Ode usually gasses in his fights. He can do good in like round 1, but then after that he gasses. So I got Idiris by decision, just because Ode probably do good in the first round, but after that he'll probably gas, and Idiris will be able to control it in the grappling. And yeah, I was going back and forth between this one a little bit, but I landed on Idiris. Now we got Chidi Njokuani versus Carlos Leal. Obviously, Carlos Leal last time got slept by Muslim Salikov, Karate Kid. I don't know what his thought process was in that fight, but he was just walking Salikov down with his hands down. I don't know. He thought he was him or something, but got knocked out with the right hand. But Njokuani, last time out, he lost to Jake Matthews. Not a bad loss, but I think Njokuani's pretty mid. And I think that Carlos Leal is way better. I think that Salikov loss doesn't really define him. Because before that, he beat Morono. He's a pretty aggressive striker. I think he came from the PFL. I've seen some clips of him there as well. He's a pretty good aggressive striker. You know, he tries to back people up against the cage and he has a lot of volume and power. He lost to Fakhreddinov his debut, but I'm pretty sure, I don't remember that fight, but I think people were saying that was a robbery, but I might have to go back and look at that one. But I just think Leal will be able to walk down Njokuani. Njokuani really doesn't pose no threat against Leal, but he does have like 4 inches in height and 6 inches in reach. So if Njokuani could keep the range and just keep Leal from like getting in his face, he might be able to, you know, stifle that striking. But I just think Leal will be able to get in his face and make it gritty. I think he'll finish Njokuani in round 2 just based off volume. It'll probably be like cumulative. I don't know if he'll sleep him, but yeah. Now, for the start of the main card, boys, Zach Reese versus Michel Pereira. This is a tough one because I was really high on Michel Pereira at first when he was on that big win streak. When he finished Petrosky. Wait, let me see. Yeah, he was on a big win streak. Holy shit. Let me see. He was on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-fight win streak until he ran into Fluffy. But before that, he beat Potiera by submission. He beat Alexeychuk by submission. Knocked out Petrosky. Beat Ponzinibbio, Fialio, Price. So I was really high on Michel Pereira. I even thought he was going to beat Fluffy. But Fluffy, you know, that grappling's something else. But after that, I feel like he lost that whatever he had before. He lost like that spark or whatever, because he doesn't look like the same fighter at all. And he's still like, he's only like 32 or something, and he's just looking really slow in his striking. I don't know. Versus Bus, he got dominated. He did nothing in that one. And then Dawkins knocked him out in 40 seconds. Kyle Dawkins knocked down Michel Pereira in round 1 in 40 seconds. I don't know what's going on with Pereira, but he's looking really washed up, boys. It's looking pretty bad. But Zach Reese been doing pretty good his last few fights. I also think Reese is pretty mid, but he beat McVeigh. Obviously, he had that no contest versus Dumas, and beat Todorovic before that. But obviously, he's gotten knocked out by Bakoyev and Cody Brundage. But he's been looking really good his last few fights. So I think he just has the momentum in this one. This one I've been going back and forth with too, because Pereira, I don't know. He's weird. It depends. If he shows up in this one, I think he'll just starch Reese. But I don't know. He's just been looking really off his last few fights. But this is a big jump in comp for Reese. But I don't know. Just based off Pereira's last performance, I can't pick him just now. Until he could prove me wrong in this one. I'll take the hit on this one. But I'm going Reese by decision. I'll take the hit on Pereira in this one. If he comes back and looks good, then obviously I'll start backing him again. But just based off his last 3 losses, actually, I can't pick him to win a fight right now. So Reese by decision. Now we got Jacob Smith versus Josiah Harrell. So this is a short notice fight for Harrell. I think Smith, I don't know who he was originally supposed to fight. I think it was I don't want to be like racist or anything. I'm not gonna even say. I think he's South Korean or something. But so Jacob Smith, pretty good prospect at welterweight. You know, he got power, he got grappling. Reminds me a lot of what's the guy's name? Abdusir Malik. But Josiah Harrell, he's 11-0 as well. 5 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission. I haven't really seen like much footage of him. But Jacob Smith, obviously, last time out, beat Price, but he did look like he was gassing in that one a little bit. Not gonna lie, boys. And then he knocked out Parsons. But I think just based off short notice, Jacob has 8 wins by knockout, 7 first-round finishes. He submitted Price, and Hero, I think he'll probably be good comp. He's also undefeated, so, he's pretty good, but I haven't seen much tape on him, so I can't say much. But I think just based off short notice, I don't know. Smith has power, but I don't think he'll knock Hero out. But I do think he'll probably submit him in round 1. That's my pick. I think he'll probably use his grappling in this one, because Hero will probably expect him to strike with him, and Smith would hopefully have a good game plan and go out there and take him down and finish him in round 1 with submission. But I don't know, these prospects, they like to switch things up. I'm Sir Malik, he choked out that one guy, I forget his name, it's mid, but that's my pick. Jacob Smith, round 1 sub. Now, next fight, boys, we got the heavyweights. We got Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija. So Spivak, last fight, I think he lost to Waldo. They both lost to Waldo their last time out. But Spivak's fight was close with Waldo. A lot of people called that robbery. I thought Waldo won that. I was at 316. It was a pretty close fight, but I think Waldo edged it out. And obviously, Delija got knocked out by Waldo in his last fight. It was pretty weird, that eye poke stoppage and then resume the fight thing. But then he beat Tybur in his debut, So I think Delija trains with Tom Aspinall. That's what a lot of people talk about. This fight is pretty much grappler striker, Spivak, the grappler, he has a lot of submission wins. Delija, a lot of knockout wins, great power, striking. So I don't think that Spivak will be able to get Delija down. I think Delija will be able to keep the fight standing, and like Tybura, it's going to go like the Tybura fight. I think Delija will finish him in round 1. Spivak's going to try to take him down. Delija's going to defend it and finish him in round 1. I just think he's a better striker all around. Now, we got a really good fight here, boys. We got Dan Ige versus Melquizael Costa. As you boys know, I had Melquizael Costa as a contender for Fighter of the Year last year. He went 4-0. Pretty good wins last year. He submitted Feely round 1. He beat Christian Rodriguez by decision. Beat Julianna Rosa by decision. And then obviously knocked out Morgan Shearer with that head kick. Costa, after losing to Steve Garcia, has become really, really good. He's a good striker. He has that good left kick. He has that good striking as well. He has pretty good pressure. That's how he had Morgan Shearer against the fence. Then obviously you got 50K Ige. Lost to Pitbull his last time out. And before that, I forget who he fought. He beat Charles Woodson. And lost to Murphy before that and Lopez. But I don't know. Ige looked really slow, I think, versus Pitbull. I don't know. It looks like he's slowing down, boys, unfortunately. Might be on his way out, but I just think Melquizael Costa, 100% the better grappler. I think he's way taller. He's 3 inches taller than Ige, but they got the same reach. But I just think he'll be able to keep Ige in his range, like far from him, and blast that kick. And if Ige tries to come in, with that stocky right hand, he'll be able to take him down. I don't think he'll finish Ige, but I do think he'll just be able to control this one, win this one by decision. So I got Melquizael by decision, joining the rankings. But yeah. Now for the co-main event of the evening, we got a fun one, boys. 2 knockout specialists. We got Jeff Neal versus Uros Medic. Obviously Neal, last time out, lost to Protez by that spinning elbow with like 1 second left in round 1. And then Medic, I think, who did he fight? Salikov. He beat Salikov by knockout. But obviously 2 big power punchers. Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal's pretty good. He gives a good fight to anyone he fights. He beat Dos Anjos. He had a split decision loss to Ian Gary. And he also got subbed by Rachmanov. So Jeff Neal loses to like the best of the best in the division, and he beats everybody else. Basically, I'm saying this Uros Medic has back-to-back knockouts, but Uros Medic is so chinny, and he gets caught in every single fight. I'm pretty sure he gets dropped in every fight or gets rocked. I'm not falling for this. Oh, Prates just got slept his last fight by Carlos Prates and Uros Medic. I'm not falling for the Uros Medic propaganda, boys. Jeff Neal is going to knock out Uros Medic in round 1. Uros Medic is not going to be able to take the power of Jeff Neal, and he gets caught way too much. Jeff Neal's way too clean, and just because he loses to the best fighters in the division doesn't make Jeff Neal bad. This is a jump in competition for Medic, and he's getting starched in round 1, boys. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's my pick. Jeff Neal, round 1 knockout. So for the main event of the evening, boys, we got a good one. No, the MMA community is very split on this fight, but I think it's pretty clear. You know, we got Sean Strickland, lost his last time out to DDP. Obviously before that beat Costa, lost to DDP, beat Izzy. But Hernandez obviously is on a major win streak right now. He's just been running through not running through, you know, he had a pretty close fight with Brandon Allen, but won that one. Obviously he destroyed Roman Dolidze in one of the best performances in 2025. He beat Allen, then he destroyed Michel Pereira as well. Submitted Roman Kopylov, who was also on a big win streak before that, I'm pretty sure. Beat Shabazi and beat Barrio. His last loss was to Kevin Holland, but that was 2020, 6 years ago. This fight is as well like striker grappler. You know, Strickland's gonna come with that. His teeps, his marching forward, his volume. Hernandez gonna try to grapple. You know, I think he can stand with Strickland as well. I don't know. People are saying like Strickland will just be able to dominate in the striking, but obviously his style is really tricky. Obviously Izzy, probably one of the best strikers of all time, couldn't figure out Strickland's style. So Hernandez, I think Strickland doesn't pose really a threat in like power or nothing. He just has a lot of volume. He can outwork you, out-cardio you, but I think Fluffy has the cardio to match Strickland as well. So it's really, if I hate to do hypotheticals, but if Hernandez can implement his grappling, this fight is easily going to Hernandez. If Strickland can keep the fight standing, he has great takedown defense as well, but he's gotten taken down by Strickland has gotten taken down by Duplessis in their fight. He got controlled the first round versus Abus Magomedov. The only reason Abus lost that is because he gassed horribly. I think he would have been able to win that if he had good cardio, but I got Fluffy by decision, boys. He will be able to take Strickland down. He will be able to control him in the grappling. You know, Strickland's defensive grappling is overrated, I think. I think Fluffy's the second best grappler in the division behind Khamzat. His cardio, his pace, and his pressure breaks a lot of these fighters, and I think it'll break Strickland as well. You know, Fluffy by decision, boys, into that top 3. So yeah, that's my predictions for UFC Houston, boys. So let me know about y'all predictions. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you boys enjoy the card. Look out after this. You know, I'm going to give my reactions to this card, go over my predictions and how the fights went. And then UFC Mexico, I think, next week. Moreno versus Kavanaugh. You know, look out for that prediction video as well. So yeah, hope you boys have a good one. Peace.